Okay, couture crafters, let's get into this video. I am taking a square and I am unlocking the dimensions and I am resizing it to the size of the pages in my planner, which is 5.5 by 8.5. I am now in a half letter size planner. Now I'm just searching tabs and I see here that this one is access, and I had to fix it and go buy it, but no worries. um, Now I'm taking another square and I'm putting it on top of that tab, and I'm going to cut that tab in half. So I sliced right into it. I use the slice function for that. And now I'm going to work with this tab because we are making our own tabs for our planner. So here I'm resizing the tab. So I'm unlocking the dimensions and I'm just making it a little bit smaller. I figured out that I wanted to have, I think, 6 tabs right now in my planner. So eventually I'm going to need 6. And I am resizing that puppy to probably be about, I want it to hang out from underneath the stack about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm lining up these tabs side by side. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not actually using the grid. I should have moved that very first tab to the left, the one that's all the way to the left, over to the right a little bit. So that way when I put it in my punch, it doesn't affect the holes on the left. It was difficult and I had to flip it upside down. So I have one tab that hangs out way further than the rest of them. It doesn't bother me too bad, but in hindsight, I should have just moved everything over to the right some more so that I could punch it easier. So I've placed the tabs side by side underneath. So now I know exactly where I want them. And now I duplicated that rectangle a few times because I'm going to need to weld each tab to the rectangle. There might be an easier way to do this. They might even make tabs, but I just like customizing my own, so whatever. But you'll get the gist of this tutorial here. So I'm taking each of the tabs, I'm kind of wiggling them and eyeballing them and making sure they're where I want them to be. And now we are going to start selecting the tab and the rectangle and welding them together. So I just held down my shift key and clicked the rectangle and the tab and welded them. Now I'm placing another rectangle directly on top of that one. And you can do that by using your X and Y axis or just eyeballing it. And then I just start selecting the tabs and the rectangles that I want to weld, and then I weld them, and then I change the color so that I can see them better. That little light pink wasn't working for me. So now I'm just putting another rectangle on top of the other ones. Same thing over and over again. Select the tab, select the rectangle, weld them together. And then change the color. It's easier to hide the color that you were using before. So that orange one, eventually I'm just going to hit the eye and hide it. And then I'm able to select those two easier. This didn't take too long to do. Probably took me about 30 minutes to do it. And I was a little rusty and out of practice. So yeah, it probably took me about 30 minutes. It's just the same thing over and over again. And it takes my machine a little bit of time to drop in the patterns that I want to do. So there we go. All I did was weld those little bitty tabs to the rectangle. Now I want some side tabs. I only like bottom tabs. I think top tabs are just stupid. I know that sounds crazy because most people have tabs on the tops of their planners, but I'm not up there. I can't see what's going on unless I have the planner closed and it's sitting up. That's just weird. So when I'm sitting, I think top tabs are so strange. So all my tabs are usually on the right hand side and on the bottom. I don't know why people put tabs at the top, unless they want their names or something peeking out. I don't know. So I have that other tab sitting over there, and I only have two personal tabs on the right hand side of my planner. So these can be a little bit larger. I'm measuring my planner as I go along. So I'm doing the exact same thing that I did before, except for now I've turned this on its side, rotating it using the rotation at the top. I just put in 90 degrees. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm placing it where I think I want it. I'm just eyeballing it. I duplicated another square, or rectangle I should say. And all you do is just hit the duplicate button so that you have rectangles that are the exact same size. And then you just highlight them both, holding down that shift key, and then weld those together. Now, right here, I didn't catch it, but I did not have that tab touching I didn't have the tab touching the rectangle all the way, so it didn't weld all the way through. But make sure you guys have your tabs touching the rectangle all the way so that when you weld it, it's one smooth, continuous. When I look at it now, I can see that there's a line in between the tab and the rectangle. That's a fail, but that's okay. Same steps. I just should have been a little more careful with how I would see that line. It shouldn't be a line there. It should be one continuous piece, but whatever. Whatever. I fixed it eventually. And there we have it. Just as simple as that. So now I decided that I wanted to do Disney themed tabs. So I went to the uploads. I uploaded a picture as a pattern. As long as it's a JPEG, you can upload a picture as a pattern. So you go to edit, you turn it to a pattern, and then you go to edit. And then you can play with the pattern. So when you look at the screen right now, when you look over to the right, you'll see the printable feature. Instead of having scissors over there, I clicked on it and I turned it to a printer. And that's how you turn it into something that you can put a pattern onto. I've got to do it again. So here I'm using Minnie's Boutique. I love that little show. I love bows, and I love Minnie, and I love Daisy, and I wanted that to be one of my tabs. All of my tabs this year are Disney themed because I really want to go to Disney World, so why not? And here I'm just simply playing with the sizing. You can see what it's going to look like behind that panel there, and you can see what it's going to look like on the panel. And you just play with these until you get your centering the way that you want. It's simply just clicking and playing. So I'm kind of, I think I like it like that. And so then I do another one with Mickey and Friends. Don't forget to save your project as you go. These are big files, and it's going to it's going to make your Cricut design space work a little bit. So again, you're turning you see the scissors on the right next to that orange dot? You're clicking on that and turning it into print. When you hit print at the top of that panel, you'll see pattern. You click pattern, and then you go find the patterns that you've uploaded. This is just something you guys have to play with a little bit. I guess this tutorial is kind of for intermediate or advanced Cricut users, but you can figure this stuff out, guys. All I'm doing is going to the panel, like that orange panel where you see the scissors in the circle. You click that. Then you turn that into a print. Up there at the top, you'll see write, cut, print. You're going to click print. And then right under that, you'll see pattern. You click pattern, and you go find a pattern that you've uploaded. You upload by going to the left of your screen at the bottom, all the way to the left, the bottom tab or the bottom button there says upload. You upload your patterns there. And you can use any kind of picture. You can use pictures of your kids, your family, anything that's a JPEG. There are a few other options. I think you can do PNGs too. and then you just upload it to your tab. It takes a minute for Cricut to think, so don't think that your computer is stopped or freaking out or anything like that. It takes a minute for Cricut to put the picture on your panel. I just cut that out because it takes forever. Now I decided that I wanted to add text to my tabs. I wasn't being particular about the font. I really didn't care. So I just hit the text and then I typed in the words that I wanted. I shrunk them down, and then you change the color to what looks good, and then you select everything, and then you flatten it, attach it, then flatten it, attach it, then flatten it. So here I'm doing home. I'm changing the color to white so that it shows up. I'm shrinking it down. I'm putting it on the tab. Then I'm going to select everything, and then I attach it, and then I flatten it. And there you can see home is on there. And I did that with all 4 or 6. Wow.